everyone, welcome to Q's and A's. I'm your host, Kage, and I use they, them pronouns. Today we're going to be talking about name and pronoun changes, and we are so very lucky that we have some special guests with us today. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Hello, I am Nova. I use she, they.
I am Michael. I use he, him.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Nova and Michael. And I'm so glad to have you guys on the podcast.
Great to be here.
Yeah, it's fun.
So today I just have some quick, really simple questions for you guys. So
Sounds good.
Yeah, let's get to it. So, Nova, so you went through a change of your name and pronouns. So when did you know that the time was right to tell, in this case, Michael or any of your friends and family?
I kind of just hit a breaking point. I couldn't go on as it was, just living in the discomfort anymore. So, at some point, I managed to come out to my parents. It took a long time because I kept choking on my words and not getting what I wanted to say out. But after several tries and many tears, I made it. And then, not long after, I came out to Michael, and it took some
explaining.
Yeah, the information did not stick. Had to go through that.
I heard it, I was like, oh, that's cool, and then forgot that I didn't know what that was.
It was a whole thing, but yeah. All's well that ends well.
Yeah, well, so Nova, what would you say was the most difficult part of changing your name and your pronouns?
Probably getting used to being able to, correct people. Because it's one thing to be like, oh, hey, this is, how I want to be referred to and whatnot. But then, whenever they mess up, it's just so awkward. And then if they don't say something, then you have to be the one to say something. And I've been getting better, but, baby steps.
Yeah, baby steps. So, Michael,
That's me.
Since you experienced Nova's name and pronoun change, what ways did you adapt to it?
It came kind of fast, but at first it was just I just kind of mixed the two to try and get used to it more. I would use she, her, and he, him a lot to just it slowly just faded out from he, him to she, her. But for that first stretch of time, it was just adapting. It was just trying to remember, and it ended up just mixing a lot.
Yeah, so on that continuing topic, what do you think was the most difficult part of changing and adapting to Nova's new name and pronouns?
Probably not outing her to her friends and our grandparents, because I know and I'm friends with a lot of her friends, and I knew her best friend knew, but she hadn't told the others yet. And so it was kind of hard having to be selective with when I used specific pronouns. And then that kind of messed with me a little bit while being like, okay, what can I use now? What can I use now?
Yeah, coming out to my friends and grandparents made things a lot easier overall.
Yeah, so, Nova, what advice or encouragement would you give to other people considering changing their name, changing their pronouns, or just choosing to tell the people close to them?
Personally, I always found it useful to write things down because, like I said, I choke on my words a lot, and then you end up having to go back over and over again to slowly build up what you want to say. But if you write it down, then you can take all the time you need to get it perfect, and then all you have to do is hand them a piece of paper or hit send, and suddenly it's done, it's out of your hand, everything's already there, and you don't have to worry about losing track of your ideas.
Yeah, well, that's really great, actually. Thank you so much for that, Nova. And Micheal, what advice or encouragement would you give to close friends or family, to people who have changed their name and their pronouns?
Well, a big part of it is just realizing if you really do care about this person, then it's why wouldn't you spend time learning about this new not necessarily person, but this new whole this is completely new to you. So if you do care about this person, why wouldn't you learn about this and help practice the new pronouns and names they use, and research, maybe study things that common things, or listen to them, see what's specific to them, and just all the little things.
Thank you so much. So, I wanted to ask you guys just a few more simple questions. How do you guys handle, slip-ups, mistakes? Because, those happen occasionally. Just, how do you get through it?
Well, it is really awkward a lot. And so, whenever I slip up, I just try to quietly correct myself and make sure, not make sure they hear it, but make sure they know, I didn't mean it.
He has a tendency to just kind of make a sound. It's like a built-in incorrect buzzer.
Yeah. And then, just try and remind myself, hey, don't do that.
Well, would you, this is a question for both of you, do you think that a name and pronoun change is somewhat of a long process, or just depends?
For me, it is a lot more long-spanning than it would be in a perfect world, because there's figuring out what feels right, and then you have to build up the courage to tell people, and then you might come out to different people at different times, and it's a whole process. And then you have to
There's also the fact of not just your friends,
mm-hmm.
but everyone else that you just know and are acquainted with.
Yeah, you have to make sure that people know, and it just takes a while for people to get used to it. It's not gonna be as quick as you want it to, but it'll get there day by day.
So for you, it's just a process. It just takes time.
Mm-hmm. Everything about transitioning just takes a bit of time.
Thank you so much for being on the podcast. I really enjoyed speaking and asking those questions.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
And fun.
So thank you, Nova. Thank you, Micheal.
Yeah.
It was so great to have you guys on the podcast. And
it's great to be here.
Yeah. So, and to our viewers, thank you so much for listening. It means the world to me. Please make sure you like, you follow, comment below. It means other people get to see this too. Make sure to fill out all the links that you can, or at least check out some of them fill out the form in the description below. That helps me and my project understand what you guys want to hear more about, or any general questions you have about the show, and whether or not you want to be interviewed for this episode so you can be here like Nova and Michael here. So, make sure to rate us highly, and see you on the next episode. Thank you so much.